little happy days. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like,
These days are.
the last few years, these conversations, while always pleasant with the two of you, they're just filled with angst and gloom and doom. And again, while this team isn't a finished product, it's just such a
refreshing change.
Yeah, like that. They're being well coached and they're trending in the right direction and they can score some points. I got some defensive issues, but like it's just more pleasant football time of year.
Okay, so last night you and I and Olin got to talk to Kevin Byard.
Oh yeah, he was like a kid in a candy store.
Oh my God, he said, "Oh, it's so great around here." He goes, "Let me give you an example," and he talked about Ben Johnson, just how intense. And he said, "Okay, next one up. Let's beat them. Basically
make them quit.
Yeah, make them fire their coach, quit, whatever it takes. Let's do it and play with that type of passion and intensity." And he said, "I'm sitting right next to C.J. Gardner-Johnson," and he hits him and goes, "KB, I love this blankety blank. This is awesome." Yeah. How cool is that?
It's great. I've always
it's our
asked.
Guy.
I was going to say, Jonathan. I've always said, why can't we have nice things?
Right.
We do now.
And now, again, I'm not trying to oversell it. 2025 is. I don't believe we're going to be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, but I feel good about the direction that they are on, and I feel. I always ask myself this following question with regard to sports: does it make sense? Make it make sense for me is kind of my simple request for sports things. And a lot of what's going on up at Hallis Hall is starting to make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you have a winning team and it seems like the arrow's pointing up. That's for sure.
Johnny and I were talking about the trade deadline, and we're not in agreement, which is cool. We debate.
Was it civil?
Yeah.
On my side, always, as you well know.
I just know he's bigger than me, and that if I cross the line,
I think there's a greater level of maturity coming from Jonathan as well.
I'm cool with that. I want to be immature till the day the good Lord puts me in the ground or cremates me.
Okay.
I don't think the Lord's going to do that. I think that's family.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, but go ahead.
Yeah.
The good Lord put me in the ground, but cremate me. That's my request.
Imagine at the funeral, you've got the hole open in the earth, and then the voice of God goes, no.
Yeah.
No burning of Kap.
By the way, he was healthy. There's nothing happened. The good Lord just wanted to put him under dirt.
Well, whenever the plan says I'm done, it is what it is.
Your book, The Plan's going to do this? What do you mean?
Theo's going to make the call.
Amazon.com, The Plan, with David Kaplan.
But
I'm sure Jed would like to do it.
I guarantee you there are times he's in his office, in his car, whatever, and he goes, I've been really nice to that SOB. Can someone just put him out, please?
Oh, my God. You take you down?
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Kap, I'd like to take you out to Northwest Indiana. There's this cornfield I want to show you.
And you see right there, that's Spilatro's jacket. It's still there. I'm going to put yours right next to it.
Jed's guys, Paulie and Rico, are driving Kap to dinner.
I don't think Carter's part of that.
No, Jed wouldn't do it. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to stain that beautiful white shirt.
Yeah, Carter's waiting for 2032 to do it. But I was going to say, Hoodie's like, he's not happy that. Why can't we be aggressive at the deadline to try and fix the defense? I was happy that they did not give up a first or a second or a third. You gave up a 6 and got a 7 back, and I got a player that helps me. I'm good. That was fine. Where were you on the deadline?
I'm kind of unmoved by it. Like I'm willing to go all in, but it's got to be for a player that's not just a rental. I don't think you're in everyone says, well, you're not a Super Bowl contender. Maybe not, but I'm still on board for adding pieces, not just for now, but for later. So, like, if you were going to take a bigger swing at a player and give up some decent currency, it's not just for the 2025 season and the remaining 9 games. It's because you want him to be a part of your defense going forward for the next 2 or 3 years. It's why going back to summer camp, I was an advocate of, hey, let's try to make a deal with the Bengals and get Trey Hendrickson here. Not just for 2025, but for the next 2 or 3 years. Let's get him signed. True difference makers don't come available very often. So, you have to get them when they're available, not when you want them. And with that in mind, I don't know that there was a big deal for now and for the future to be made. So they brought in a guy who's got one fewer sack than the cornerback that you just brought in, Gardner Johnson. So you're not going to get the great pass rush, it doesn't seem.
Tommy, what did we learn about Caleb Williams that we didn't already know based on the last couple of offensive plays in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, Jonathan, I've spent a lot of time talking about situational awareness, and they haven't been a smart football team at times. It's penalties, it's other stuff. Like I gave you the examples last week of not really cherishing where you're at on the field or acknowledging where you're at and valuing it. You're 5 yards deep in your end zone against the Ravens. You can't try to make a Superman throw. You got to hit the check down. There was one read, only one read, and I think not only did you not make the right read, but you didn't make the right read from the opponent's end zone. So, time and place. I thought, we talked about a couple of intentional groundings and then the play at the end of the half with him scrambling. The point I'm getting at is while I criticize him for some situational awareness mistakes, I got to credit him for others. I thought the scramble on 3rd and 10 was a really smart football play. If you go back and look at the tape, and we had a caller call us on Monday and say he was upset that Caleb didn't get out of bounds to preserve a timeout. On that play, it's 3rd and 10. I believe there's still, 30 seconds or whatever to go. You had a timeout in your pocket. If you watch the film when he scrambles, the cornerback peels off. And Caleb could have gotten out of bounds, but he would have never gotten past the first down marker.
That is correct.
So then what you would have had, guys, is a 4th down with your timeout still in your pocket with 25 seconds to go. You don't need a touchdown. All you need is a field goal. So I thought in that particular moment, Caleb valued the first down more than he valued getting out of bounds. And I agreed with that 100%. And not only did he turn the 3rd down into a 1st down, so now downs are more important to me at this point. He also, when he got to the ground, he got up and ran to the middle of the field and handed the ball to the official. So the point I'm making, it might sound silly, is the situational awareness that's what you want from the most important player on your team. He knew that the first down was more important than facing a 4th down and saving time. He still had the timeout in his pocket. All we got to do is get in the field goal range. Where that is with Kyra, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. And I just thought that the situational awareness there was fantastic. The other play, Jonathan, was the touchdown pass at the end. And I know I'm going to be labeled Captain Obvious for this. It's a beautiful throw and a great, run after the catch by Colston Loveland. But if you look at this play, guys, it is example A for the quarterback is starting to get it. He's starting to trust the offense. He's starting to see it correctly. You dial up a formation with Colston Loveland with about a 6 or 7 yard split in the slot. You're looking for a 2-high safety look. They've given you single high for the majority of the day. We want to run a play up the seam with 2-high safety. You get the look. So when you're coming to the line of scrimmage, you're like, okay, I got the look. Ben put us in the right formation. We're going to get the right look. Now what I got to do is I got to trust Colston to run a good seam route, make a play. I got to trust my line to protect me long enough, and I got to trust my ridiculous amount of talent just to step into it and let it fly. So what happens? The ball's snapped. You get the 2-high look. Colston Loveland makes a veteran move. He widens a little bit with his route to create a larger spot for Caleb to throw the ball. And he doesn't narrow the space between himself and the safety on the other hash. Caleb sees the play, knows where it's supposed to go. It's perfectly designed. The protection starts to break down, but he doesn't panic. He steps up and he trusts himself and his infinite amount of talent and drops a dime on Colston Loveland, and Loveland does the rest. The point I'm making is they're like, oh, yeah, Waddle, that is a great throw and a great run. Mm-hmm. But the process, like I showed you guys the play against the Saints where it was designed perfectly in the red zone. They got the look they wanted. Caleb was staring at it, and he didn't pull the trigger. Why? I don't know. The processing kind of, went haywire. But in the most important time of the game, not only does he make a brilliant throw, but, if you kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to say, he trusts the play from his coach. He trusts the look he's getting. He trusts his young tight end. He trusts his line. He trusts himself. That's what we're trying to get to. Just trust it, man. That's why we brought in these guys on the offensive line. That's why we drafted Colston at 10. That's why Ben's calling plays, and that's why we picked you number 1. Trust it. And to me, that was a great example of trusting the play, trusting the look, know it's going to work, and then just go out and execute. So, again, I know that they were the 2 biggest plays of the game, but we've seen that, fellas, over the course of the last year and a half where maybe that didn't take place, and that's where I think the greatest amount of growth took place on Sunday.
We will have more with the great Tom Waddle coming up.
Tell you the ownership is awful in New York, okay? I mean, listen, I always tell this to Kap all the time. I said, look, we're blessed here in Chicago. The Hawks are interesting. Bulls are winning. Bears are winning. How would you like to be in New York, working for ESPN New York, right? Right in the Michael K slot, or right into the Han Rosenberg slot with LaGreca, and talk about the Jets and Giants every day?
No, I'm good here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
I'm good.
Jets,
I'm good
Giants
right
every day. I mean, not just one bad team, 2.
Well, at least the Jets gave you something to talk about with the dismantling of their roster, but that buzz will leave your system soon.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I wouldn't. They're in a valley right now.
I know we get in the meetings. Oh, ESPN Cleveland doing a great job. You're talking about the Browns every day. Yeah, that toilet. Good for them, right, Kap?
Wait a second. How was that again? What are we hearing?
Oh, we hear about Cleveland every time, and they're doing a great job.
That's right, the really big show. Let's play a Kahoot.
Let's talk about Cleveland. Yeah, the Browns every day. Good luck.
What are y'all talking about?
Take that, Craig.
Jay Moore, they're going to be talking to themselves on the street soon.
Take that, Craig.
Let's talk about Shador. Great job, ESPN Cleveland.
Right, for the 17th year, the really big show of the year in the company.
Bears get to 5-3, and everyone's feeling their oats at the station, huh?
Well, it's good to win.
Yeah,
it just feels good to talk about a winning project.
Oh, man. So, Tommy, I got to ask you, as you look at the defense.
Shador Sanders. oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Craig.
Sorry.
It was a good day here, Tommy. Keith got the coffee machine fixed. It actually worked for a day.
So we're not drinking poison anymore?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm still upright now. We're into this cup of coffee. My question is, defensively, you're going to get, we think, if they're winning. Someone up there said to me, yeah, if we stay winning, and that doesn't mean win every game, but in the hunt, you're going to get Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson back for the stretch run.
Well, I would say about Jalen.
How much does that affect the pass rush?
Yeah, it does. I mean, but it's supposed to work the other way around, Cap. I mean, the secondary is supposed to be helped out by the guys up front getting to the opposing quarterback and limiting the time to throw. It's not the other way around. Hey, you know what? We're going to cover for 5 seconds so some of you guys may find your way to the quarterback. That's kind of backwards logic, but unfortunately, because they don't get to the quarterback with their front 4, it's kind of the plan. I think they're going to struggle all year, guys, with it. Do you trust that Kyler Gordon's going to be healthy? He's a fabulous player, but he hasn't been able to get on the field. And, listen, Jalen had groin or ab surgery or whatever he had. You think he's going to be in football shape to come back and maybe get out there and run with the Amon-Ra St. Brown late in the season? I mean, I just don't put my hope there. I think what you got to do is you're just going to have to win in some ways. Maybe not 47-42, but you're going to have to ask your defense to continue to take the ball away, which is a huge ask. In their 5 wins, they've got 18 takeaways. In their 3 losses, they've got 1. I mean, there's no mystery there, guys. So they're going to have to do it a little bit with the splash plays because I don't see their pass rush just developing out of the kid JTS. I won't even try to pronounce his name other than Joe. I don't have these wild thoughts that he's going to sack 10 quarterbacks. He's had 15 sacks his first 4 years in the season, so first 4 years in the league. So, Cap, I think it's going to be kind of a grind, and when you take it away, you're going to have a chance, and if you don't take it away, it's going to be a struggle, and you're just going to have to lean on your offense most of the time.
Tommy, have a great day. We want to keep this segment going every week. We go inside the lines with Tom Waddle, and you break down a play, good or bad, for the Bear, okay?
Yeah, it's hard to do without video, but I'm happy to do it for sure.
Well, that's awesome. And by the way, congratulations on Willie Harris becoming the new third base coach for the Reds. Awesome.
I did not know that.
I'm just here to help. With Willie Harris
Tell
over
me
at third.
again about the Browns.
Oldest brewery in America.
Tony Rizzo making news again.
Waddle Wednesday brought to you by Window Works, the company your neighbors trust. We pause now 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves along the abundantly, profusely, densely, thick set. Yeah, Kap and J Hood. ESPN Chicago Radio.